today I'm going to show you how to make a cheesesteak. Now, if you happen to live in the United States, especially if you're in the Philadelphia area, don't watch this video. The cheesesteak I'm going to make is not going to be even close to as good as what you can just buy around the corner. I used to live in Lansdale in Montgomery County in Pennsylvania, and there was a great place called Pudge's in Tominson, and they had the best cheesesteaks. But seriously, if you're in that area, you're by Philly, Pat's, Geno's, Tony Luke's, all very good cheesesteaks, and they are just going to be a lot better than what you can make at home. However, if you are in another part of the world, I'm currently in Spain, in southern Spain in Malaga, then this video might be helpful to you. So here in Spain, what you'll need for a good cheesesteak is, of course, the best meat you can find. Normal cheesesteak is made out of a ribeye cut. Now here in Spain, it's a little more challenging to find that cut. So we have been able to find some good cuts of chuletón de vaca, which is available in Lidl. And this is, it works. It's got some marbleization. What you want to do is you want to make sure you have to cut it very thin. So you want to slice it very thin. And to do that, the best way to go about doing that is to chill it first in the freezer for about a half hour. So you'll need your meat, of course the cheese. There's no American cheese here, at least not at your local grocery store. So what we found is this queso fundido sandwich cheese, which is as close as we can find to American. And then of course good bread. Luckily here in southern Spain, there's bocadillo rolls, which it's not an amoroso roll, but it is pretty darn good. So you need that. And then if you like sauce, the best thing we found was this tomate frito, which is the closest thing you'll find to good sauce for your cheesesteak. And of course, I love cheesesteaks with fried onions. You'll need an onion, salt and pepper, and some butter, olive oil, just to make sure that you can fry up and cook your steak and your onion in the right way. And of course, you're going to need some very sharp knives. I highly recommend you sharpen your knives before attempting this, because cutting this meat into small pieces is quite difficult. Let's get started. First thing you're going to do is peel and chop that onion into nice big pieces, put it into a saucepan with some olive oil, and saute for about 2 to 3 minutes. While that's happening, you can go ahead and try to cut your meat. You'll have to chill that meat in the freezer for 30 minutes to get it nice and firm, and use a very sharp knife. The key here is to make the steak as thin as possible, cutting as thin as possible. It is difficult, so get a sharp knife and make sure it's sharpened. Once you have the meat, you're going to go back to your onions. Once they're ready to go, put them in a bowl on the side. Take some butter, a tablespoon should be fine, put it into your pan, and then get your meat. Now what you want to do with your meat is put some salt and some pepper on your meat. Throw it into the pan, and you're going to cook the meat for about 3 to 4 minutes. You will use and need a spatula just to make sure that you can move the meat apart. And while you're doing that, you might also want to make sure your bread is ready to go. The bread's a really important part of this. You won't be able to get amoroso rolls if you're not in the United States on the East Coast. In Spain, they've got the bocadillo rolls. The only thing you'll need to do is just cut down the side to make sure there's a nice deep pocket for that cheesesteak mixture goodness. Once you're done with that, go back to your meat. Again, 3 to 4 minutes. Should be ready to put the onions in again to mix it all up. Now you have a nice cheesesteak mixture going here. Stir it up. Once you're there, you might also want to consider your sauce. I mentioned tomate frito. Sauce you can use to put on top of it or on the side if you want to dip. But you probably want that warm, so just put it into a microwave-safe bowl and microwave it for 20 to 30 seconds. All right, this next part is the tricky part. You're going to put your meat into 2 columns, this meat mixture into 2 columns. That will allow you to take the bread and put it on top of the columns to basically allow this to work. Before you put it on top, though, you need to put one of the most important parts outside of the steak, the cheese. You don't have American cheese in Spain, so we've got the fundido. Put it on top, put the lid on for maybe 20 seconds to allow it to melt. Take your bread and basically, with the pocket open, put it on top of that column so that the cheese sticks to the bread. Put it down and leave it in the pan. Cover it for about 15 seconds, making sure all the steak, as much as possible, is in that pocket. Then simply scoop it up. If you're real good, you can scoop it up and get most of the meat. It's a little tricky though, so you'll most likely have to scoop a little bit more. I like to use a nice deep spatula. And there you go. That is a cheesesteak, homemade, using ingredients you can find from your local store in Europe, especially in Spain. Enjoy.